Oh, that is exciting. And we have updates about that all a lot this week. So what I want to do now is shut up. Oh, Marnita, you say she's here. I see several GetFit minings. I don't know which one. I'm thinking it's this one. So I want to bring up Miss Lynette Artin in a second. Wait a second. Where did it go? There we go. I want to bring up the creator of the project to share some updates and information. I know you guys have been waiting on Miss Lynette Artin. Go right ahead. I made you a co-host. So I want to make sure I got the right one.
Yep, you did.
There we go. All right.
So how's everybody doing today?
We're doing fantastic. I know you just had a major move down to the warm weather, the West Coast.
Yeah, definitely. Whew, long drive, 30 hours.
Floor's all
It's a
yours.
long time. All right, so I'm gonna shut my video off just because I'm gonna share my screen because I'm using my hotspot on my phone. Here's another tip for security. If you're ever in a public area, do not connect to their Wi-Fi, their public Wi-Fi, because it's not secure. You'll get hacked that way too. So if you have a phone, always connect to your hotspot, but those aren't very strong sometimes. So I'm going to share my screen. I do have a presentation I'm going to go over with everybody. First, I want to touch on security a little bit. So yeah, at first it would really irritate me. It's like, oh my gosh, the community is just not paying attention to being, taking security serious when it comes to your tokens. Um, and anymore, when I look at the amount of hackers and scammers, I like to call them bottom feeders that are hanging around waiting for the unsuspecting community to, open up uh, links or answer or respond to somebody who says they are part of our customer support. I mean, it just tells me that we have something very solid here, that they want your tokens. They see, the strength behind this project. But you guys have got to be careful. Look at the link that you are going to. For one thing, I never click on a link. I type it in. That way I make sure I get the right one. We are getfitmining.com. We are not getfitsmining.com. We are not getfitmining.io. We are only getfitmining.com. If you click on a link and you give access to your wallet by saying approve or claim or anything whatsoever, it's on you. You just gave that hacker permission to take everything you own. We just had a gal 4 or 5 days ago. She lost all of her Bitcoin. She lost all of her GPM. She lost everything. And the audacity of that hacker, he actually gained access to her miners and docked those miners, and now is submitting using her miners. Okay, that's just how bold they are. And, we can't keep replacing people's miners and trying to fix it for people. So, like I told the development team yesterday, because a lot of people like to contact them privately, I said, no more, we're done. If we have given the community ample warnings, you guys are well aware. If you click on a link and it is a phishing link, this person that lost all of her holdings 4 days ago actually gave out her password phrase to two different wallets, to two different wallet types, Trust and Token Pocket. She just gave it to them. Why? Because they said they were MoveQuest admins. They're not, okay? Our MoveQuest admins are never going to ask you for your password. They're never going to ask you for your 12-word passphrase. They're never going to ask you for your private key. They're never going to ask to take control of your computer or take control of your phone. So if you are talking to somebody who wants that, you do not have MoveQuest customer support because we don't need that information. We don't want that information. So from here forward, if you guys lose your assets because you are not paying attention to the security, there is nothing that we can do. We cannot fix it for you. We cannot give you miners to replace the miners that were stolen. We cannot unlock your mining dock slots. We cannot fix it. And if you ask, we're going to tell you no, because we feel like, one, it's a disadvantage to the community because it's diluting the market value if we do replace those miners out of the project's coffers, and it's just not fair. You guys all know what's up. It's not rocket science. You don't give away your bank account. Don't give away the keys to your wallet. It's the same thing. So now that I got that out of the way, I want to talk about the liquidity pool because I think that there's a lot of misconception that surrounds how this self-funding ecosystem works. So to me, it's really important that we get this cleared up and that I get this on a presentation so that everybody has it right in front of them, exactly how this works. So we're going to talk about understanding the liquidity and the stability of the self-sustaining ecosystem. Hang on, I got to get rid of these sidebar things here. Okay, guys, I can't read my screen. All right, so first of all, let's explain what liquidity is for those of you who aren't 100% sure. The liquidity is where you're able to buy and sell your tokens. Okay, and if the liquidity is strong, it doesn't have a strong impact on the market value. So our goal right now is stabilizing that liquidity pool because it's essential, okay, for you to be able to convert or swap those tokens to have a stable liquidity pool. Now, I've had a few people come to me and say, well, you know what? Some of us are waiting to build until we see the token go up. Let me tell you right now, if that's your mindset, you won't see the token value go up. Those are just the bare bone facts, okay? This is crypto. And it is it's a community-driven project. It's a peer-to-peer project, okay? So when you are out there sharing the application, sharing the project, you're building the community. We've only been on Avalanche for 91 days. We started out with 117 wallets that are submitting their proof of physical activity. And in those first 90 days, we have grown to right around 5,200 users in the community who are submitting their proof of physical activity to the blockchain. And we've kind of leveled out there. Okay. We haven't really grown past that mark in the last probably 7 to 10 days. Now, that doesn't mean that new users are not onboarding, but what it does mean is that there are some users who aren't submitting right now for several reasons, and we'll go over that in a minute. But the liquidity is a very important part, obviously, of the stability of the project. And so we have to make sure there's enough liquidity there so that it ensures that buyers and sellers are able to transact without having a huge impact on the price. Oh, hold on here. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the ecosystem. Our ecosystem is extremely unique. There is not another project that has what we're doing. We are a one of a kind. We are a self-sustaining platform. We blend fitness, wellness, and cryptocurrency together. We have designed a system that rewards their users for your active participation. We transform your physical activity into real value. We actually solve a real world problem here, which is obesity. 70% of the population in the United States are either overweight or they're obese. They suffer from chronic illness and disease. It has an impact on the health insurance system, on the economies, on work production. It affects your everyday life. And so what we have found and what we have learned from people using the app, those of you who go out and you have your gym memberships, you've got to be very disciplined to go out and use them every single day. Those of you who are trying to lose weight and you're spending buco bucks on all of these diet plans that don't work, they don't work because you're not doing a life change. You're stimulating your mind to not eat the food you're used to eating or to eat less of the food you're eating. But if you're not disciplined to continue doing that for the rest of your life, then you're going to gain that weight back again. And it's proven over and over and over and over. It's more difficult to keep weight off that you've lost. And so what MoveQuest does is we motivate you to do a lifestyle change. We motivate you to increase that physical activity. You don't have to be on a special diet plan to lose weight. You don't have to spend, 2-3 hours a day at the gym. And eventually, most people stop using the gyms unless, like I said, you're addicted to that sweat, that physical activity, and you're well disciplined, you start to fall off. And so what MoveQuest does is it motivates you to do that lifestyle change, to increase that physical activity. And by increasing that physical activity, you are losing weight and you're keeping that weight off. You're becoming more healthy. And so from your physical activity, we're giving you real value because every move you make is contributing to this decentralized network that's powered by the MoveQuest token. So when you're minting your miners, when you're evolving, when you're leasing, these are all community-driven activities. The challenges and everything else that's coming into the ecosystem, it's improving your health when you engage within the platform. So now you've got better health, and it's also strengthening the project's liquidity and its stability. So our ecosystem is encouraging that continuous engagement. It's creating this inclusive, growth-focused community that values the consistency and the rewards that you're going to get from your commitment to creating a better, healthier lifestyle for yourself. Now I want to talk about what is the sustainability. For MoveQuest, sustainability means that we're creating this ecosystem that thrives without the dependency of constant external funding from new participants. Okay, whenever you see that, it screams Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme, because if the project can't sustain itself without the influx of new money, you got a problem. And that's why with your crypto projects, if the only thing you can do with those tokens is buy and sell them, you've got an issue with the SEC because it's not a utility-driven project. It's not a utility-backed token. And GetFit and MoveQuest is full of utility. Even your miners are backed with utility. This project is completely utility-driven. And so with our tokenomics, with the community-driven mechanisms, we ensure that long-term stability. We pair the MoveQuest tokens to USDT to support the liquidity. We also balance the supply and the demand. So through this approach, we're protecting the token's value. We are encouraging responsible participation, and it's allowing MoveQuest to grow organically. Sustainability here isn't just about maintaining the ecosystem. It's about building that self-sufficient model that benefits you, the user, today and well into the future. When we're talking about the tokenomics, these are designed with that long-term vision. While we mirror the Bitcoin tokenomics, meaning there's 21 million max supply, and we follow the halving also with like Bitcoin with the MoveQuest token, we have other features within our tokenomics that are not like Bitcoin, that are designed for the project stability, not for a blockchain. And so what we do with the MoveQuest when you mint those miners is they're returned back to the vault. So what this does is it ensures that once that full supply of 21 million MoveQuest has been mined and in circulation, they've been distributed, that will happen on July 21st in 2059. So there's going to still be MoveQuest available for continued mining because every time you mint the miners, that MoveQuest goes back into the vault. So at that point, those recycled MoveQuests that are in the vault, they begin to go into distribution. So effectively what we've done is we've extended the mining period and we're keeping the ecosystem active, and it continues to be sustainable for years beyond that initial supply cap. Right now, to date, after 91 days, there's been 45,859 MoveQuests that have been returned to the vault for future mining. So this takes us well into the year of 2090 that people will still be able to mine using the decentralized system that's on the blockchain. The evolution of the miners within MoveQuest, okay? This is designed to increase your mining power. So if you start out with a Lenny, that's 50% mining power, okay? That would be like starting out with an Acer computer and trying to mine Bitcoin. Okay, it's not going to give you the same results as an Omega that has 400% mining power. That would be more like somebody who had several rigs set up to mine their Bitcoin and be able to benefit more from what they were mining with that higher powered miner. So if you're starting out with a Lenny miner, you cannot expect to get the results of an Omega. And what we've done is we've created 5 levels of miners so that we're not locking people out or creating a barrier of entry for people to be able to begin. The evolution allows you to be able to increase that mining power as you can afford it, or to use those MoveQuest tokens that you're mining at the Lenny level and to be able to convert that MoveQuest into USDT and to evolve. that deposits that USDT into the evolution and ultimately gets back into the liquidity pool, whether it be through buying more MoveQuest to pair to the USDT, or whether it just is paired to accumulated MoveQuest and injected as liquidity. So people who get started, and I get lots of messages. I had several yesterday. Well, with the current fees and the low price of MoveQuest, the low market value, it really isn't worth it for a person with a Lenny to mine. Well, this is my response. Well, then don't submit. You've got a Lenny miner, and the community is driving the market value down. And I'm going to explain to you why that's all happening. And this is a good thing. I'm not disappointed, and nor will any of you when I'm done explaining this. So when you get started and you start with those Lenny miners, understand you're mining at 50% mining power. Now, if you're only mining one MoveQuest a day, and in the next year, MoveQuest hits that $1,000 mark, $2,500 mark, $10,000 mark, let me tell you, this will happen because of the way the system is designed. How long it will take, I don't know, but we've got a very solid ecosystem and we've got a very sustainable model. We are not a get rich quick scheme. So if any of you have come to MoveQuest thinking that you've got to get in, you got to get out, because like if you joined Step In, you were smart, get in, get out. They took $140 million out of that project in 90 days and paid somebody to take over the project, and they left everybody holding a bag of tokens that aren't worth nothing. Okay, not even 15 cents. You can join any of the other move to earn projects that you want to, and none of them have this sustainable system. I'm not talking bad about their projects. That's how they built it. That's what it is. We didn't build our project like that. We built our project like a blockchain. It's a self-sustaining ecosystem. So if you come to this project and you think you're going to get rich tomorrow, you're not. And if you think you've got to get out as quick as you can, you don't. But if you do, you're not hurting the project. You're just making it stronger for those who have those diamond hands or for those who see the long-term vision. You do whatever you want to do. It doesn't impact the stability of this project. But what it does do is it stabilizes it. And I'm going to show you this in a second. So this evolution contract, okay, what it does is it takes the USDT. One thing that's important to understand, the project never sells MoveQuest. Now, remember when we said that as for operational purposes, for profit, to the creator, to the developers, to the people who are, very closely involved in making this project a success, 10% is what remains for that. 90% goes back into the ecosystem. 10% of the MoveQuest does not come to the profit side, okay? So all the MoveQuest stays with the project. The last thing this community wants is for 10% of those MoveQuests to be sold as profit. That has a negative impact. The project never, ever sells MoveQuest, but it does get 10% of that, okay? It just doesn't take it in MoveQuest. It comes out from either the AVAX or from the USDT. But even that being said, with that 10%, do you realize that this project still gets 150 to 200% impact on the liquidity with that 90% that's been left? And so I'm going to share how that happens as well. And this right here is just a little bit of the information, but I'm really going to go into depth on it. I'm still working on that presentation. You guys are going to know so much about this project. It's going to make your head spin. When you get done with MoveQuest, you are going to be pros at crypto. So while you might be complaining about the fees that you have to pay to submit right now because the market value is low, remember you're getting an education here too. You can get rid of your diet foods and your diet plans. You can save money there. You don't have to get that latte today that isn't healthy for you anyway. And you're actually, making your future, the longevity of your future with your MoveQuest journey a lot more stable. So I don't really listen to that as much because I know what's taking place here. So you guys have to kind of trust what's happening and really dig in and learn it. So think about what you're getting on the backside of this too when you're submitting those fees. If the evolution contract holds $1,000 in USDT, I'm just using a low number as an example, it could use $500 of that 1,000 to go to the market and buy the MoveQuest. This has a positive impact on the MoveQuest market value, right? It's going to bring up the market value because while you have buyers there, you've also got the evolution buying because the evolution has to have MoveQuest. Then it takes the 500, it's already purchased it, okay? It added $500 into the liquidity pool because it removed $500 of MoveQuest and added 500 USDT, but it still is holding $500 in value of MoveQuest. It comes back and it pairs it to the remaining $500 of USDT. And now it injects the $1,000 in. So it's had a $1,500 impact on the liquidity. That's 150% liquidity boost. It's only supposed to get 90. It's getting 150%. So while the project is only taking 10%, it's actually leaving that 150% boost to the project. Now, the project itself, through the evolution, through the not minting, but through the mining docs and other features, it accumulates that MoveQuest. Now, if it's got a healthy reserve of MoveQuest and the overselling or the selling pressure is high, it is not going to go buy MoveQuest to boost it up for the sellers. You guys have to understand, and I had people commenting, even messaging me in the last couple of days, when's the evolution going to drive the market up so I can sell? I just shook my head. I'm like, wow, they still don't get it. This project is not designed to drive the market value up for the sellers. This project is designed to work with the buyers, okay, and help to bring the price up and stabilize that market value. It's not there to, motivate sellers to sell more, have the sellers wait because it's injecting or buying that MoveQuest. So it's got 263,318 MoveQuest that it's already purchased. That's what the evolution has already purchased. And it purchased those up when it was driving up the market when the community was buying, when the community was growing. That's a lot of MoveQuest. That's millions of dollars of MoveQuest that's been purchased. And as it's going to be added into liquidity, actually equates to hundreds of millions of dollars of MoveQuest that will be paired, even stabilizing the pool in the future. So now with that 1,000, if it doesn't go buy the MoveQuest, but it actually takes from the MoveQuest it's accumulated, it's having a 200% impact on the liquidity pool because it took the $1,000 worth of USDT and it took $1,000 worth of MoveQuest from its accumulated MoveQuest that's in the vault, and it injected $2,000 into the liquidity pool. It didn't drive up the market value, but it did add an extra boost to that liquidity. It gave it a 200% impact. So through these two strategic uses of that USDT, we're ensuring that sustainable growth. It strengthens the MoveQuest ecosystem and the market resilience. So when you see that, market down, and you guys got to remember, this is crypto. In a perfect world, and we have, 5,000 people, 10,000 people, 20,000, 25,000 people, they're all buying, they're all evolving up to Omega. Okay, in that perfect world, in my, when I do my presentations and I show you my spreadsheets, I'm giving you that perfect world example. And I'm also showing you if they were all to sell, where the market value would go. Okay, we don't live in a perfect world, and that's not what's always going to happen. That's giving you an example, best case scenario. Now, if you wanted the worst case scenario, why waste your time and come to a presentation? Because that's impossible. I could never predict what a person or the community is going to do. And so I would be giving you false information because I could never predict what the community is going to do. I can only predict in a perfect world if everything worked, at 100%. So we do have people selling. And we have some people in the community are getting really upset going, oh, it's the end of the project. This is not even the beginning of the project, folks. We haven't even started yet. Okay, we've got 5,200 people in the community who are submitting. What we're doing right now is you're watching those weak hands fall from the tree, okay? It's like a money tree that's shaking those weak hands loose, and those diamond hands are still holding their tokens because you see that long-term vision of this project. So what I was just explaining to you, when you see slower community growth and increased selling, the system itself, the sustainable self-funding ecosystem, it shifts. Okay, its focus now is to protect the MoveQuest long-term value. So as the token market value and the community expansion, you've seen how it's recently declined in the last, I would say, probably 2 to 3 weeks. We've seen, it kind of taper off to where it's kind of staying between, 5,000 and 5,200 people who are submitting every day. Okay, the algorithms see this. These contracts communicate, all right, and they watch for these trends. So when it starts to see that decline, you're going to stop seeing the MoveQuest being purchased. Why? Because it's already got an accumulation of 260,000 MoveQuest tokens that it can use to add to the USDT and inject into the liquidity pool. It's smart, okay? It's not artificial intelligence. It's an algorithm that I've created for the system, and these contracts follow it. So as you see that decline and you see the market value of the token go down, immediately the system is going to shift to protect the market value of that token. And I'm going to show you here what that value is. So when you see that reduced demand, our system does a pivot, okay? And now it's about sustainability for the holders, making sure that there is a fluid amount of liquidity in that pool. So that's where that accumulated MoveQuest comes into play, and that's where you see injection, not buy, and then injection. So when you're doing the heavy selling, don't wait for a purchase to drive up the market value, because it's not going to happen. If you're going to sell at the current market value, because the algorithms know what to do. And so right now, we have 33,939 miners that are docked, and they're mining this MoveQuest. Now, what I want you to think about is that submission fee, okay? Because this is the next slide that we're going to go to here in a second. I'm going to show you what's currently in supply. 21 million is the max supply. The vault balance right now is 20,671,630 MoveQuest tokens. Total circulating, this is including the contracts, is 328,000. Wallets are holding 273,296. That's what's in circulation. Some of you have sent MoveQuest to the MoveQuest contract. We've renounced that contract. We have no access to it. There's no way to retrieve those. So those are like burn tokens. They're gone forever. They'll never be in circulation. Currently, when I did this screenshot, we had 37,964 MoveQuest tokens in the liquidity pool. Generally, we have between 20 and 24,000. But because the community building has slowed down, the community growth, the algorithm knows not to remove those MoveQuests. Why? That's MoveQuest in there, that when the community is building again and when the community starts to see growth, that MoveQuest is available for them to purchase to drive that market value back up. But it won't be an inflated market value. It'll be a true market value when they buy those tokens. The mining dock currently is holding 135. The mining dock MoveQuest goes into the reserve for the liquidity. The compensation, there's 3,200 MoveQuest tokens in there. Some of them have to be claimed by the community, and the project, when it claims them, it sends them over to the vault. The Evolution, which is the wallet that holds the C06, has got 530 MoveQuest in it. That's waiting to be paired to USDT. And right now, the airdrop, which from the distribution, 17,500 a week are added to the airdrop until we get to where the full 5,000 are going out every day. That's holding 12,862. Why is all this important? Because you want to know how to figure out what that liquidity is. So currently, and I don't know what it is right this second, this is about 3 hours ago, the MoveQuest token market value was at $23.54. There was 37,964 MoveQuest tokens paired to $893,851. Now, overall, this project from the community has drawn over $14 million from the liquidity pool. The liquidity pool was pushing towards 5 million a month ago, and now you can see it's down to $1,787,702. That's what the liquidity pool is. Now you take the tokens that are actually in circulation. You don't take it from the max supply because it's going to take, many, many, many years for that to go into supply. You just take what is circulating. Our fully diluted market value for MoveQuest right now, for everybody to cash out at $23.54, would need $6,434,600 $6,434,672. It's got 1.7 million. That means in order for it to be fluid and everybody to cash out at this market value, it needs $4.6 million more. It's not fluid. That means that if people continue to sell, the market value is going to continue to drop. So the algorithm knows, okay, halt. Don't drive up the market value. Let the sellers keep getting the lower price they're driving it to. Right now, what the system is focused on is making sure that the liquidity stays stable. So right now, for this pool to be fluid, it would, to get it to the fluid mark, it could drop to $8.62. That means that everybody who is still holding MoveQuest could sell that token at $8.62. It's got a fluid liquidity pool. You will never find a crypto project that has a fluid liquidity pool. We're not that far away from being completely fluid. This is a positive sign, right? At that point, I'm not saying I want it to drop to $8.62. Hopefully the community sees what's going on. They understand how all this works and they start sharing it and you start to see that growth again. We've only been on the market 91 days. Okay. It's not like we've been, on the avalanche chain for the last 10 years and we're sitting here with hundreds of millions of dollars in liquidity and could care less because the system is just fully functioning on its own. 99 days, actually. 99 days mining on the Avalanche chain, the MoveQuest token listed, and 5,200 users. Okay, that's a very small community. So you have to understand that we are pushing to grow the community. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not because we need the influx of new money. We need the stability from the community who's using the ecosystem. So, for example, now where I'm going to go and we're going to talk about these fees. Take that 33,939 miners that have docked their miners and they're mining the MoveQuest token. Yeah, you're paying a fee every time you submit because it's going into the liquidity pool. Now, if we were doing it like other projects, none of that would go into the liquidity pool. It would go to the profits of the project. That's what your crypto projects do. The community provides the liquidity. You go buy the token pairs, you inject the liquidity, and you get this little tiny transaction fee reward, and then you can pull your liquidity whenever you want. Okay, that is not a sustainable market. So yes, when you submit that proof of physical activity to the blockchain, we're going to use an average price. Okay, once we release the rebranded MoveQuest app, the mining fees, they're not mining fees, but the submission fees from your proof of physical activity, they will be reflective based on your mining power, okay, and the market value of the token. But it right now is averaging at about 62 cents per miner. So what you want to do is you want to look at the amount of fee that you're paying based on the number of miners and based on the daily distribution. So you take the 33,939 miners, times it by 62 cents. This alone would add 21,042 cents daily to the liquidity pool. That totals about $631,265 that's added to the liquidity pool each month. Okay, this liquidity stabilizes the market value of the MoveQuest as the 2,500 are distributed daily from your mining. Now, let's take the lowest market value scenario. Don't take it at the 23 yet. We're going to take it at the $8.62. At this value, let's say the selling just keeps going on and on until it reaches that fluid level, it would require about $21,042 a day to be added to the liquidity pool if all 2,500 of those MoveQuest tokens were sold. We've met that target. This is where I talk about the sustainability. That 33,939 miners that are submitting their daily activity has met that target because it's 21,550 that's being added to the liquidity pool daily through the self-funding ecosystem. Do you see where I'm talking about how that stability comes in? So now, because of the overselling, the algorithm pivots its focus and says, okay, it's time to stabilize that liquidity pool. That means that if not one single person ever came into this project again, They never minted a miner. They never unlocked a mining dock slot. They never evolved a miner. They never participated in creating a challenge, joining a challenge, leasing their miners. They didn't go through the arenas. They didn't buy any boosts or any of the other features that happen to be a part of the ecosystem. The submissions alone would sustain the market value at $8.62. That means forever in a blue moon, you would be able to cash out your MoveQuest tokens at $8.62. Okay, that's not going to happen. We already know that. So the market value is going to continue to drive up. Here's what makes us different. You see that volatility in other crypto projects, right? Huge, growth, and then bam, everybody starts to sell. Where we're different is when they start to sell, we start to sustain it at that fluid pool, that fluid level, meaning everybody's able to cash out at that market value. We are a very strong project. We've got an ecosystem that no other crypto project has. So do we like the $8.62 price? Absolutely not. Are you going to find another move to earn project that's got that market value on their token? Absolutely not. So am I happy that we have had this much success? Absolutely. Do I love it that we can sustain the market value? 100%. Should you wait to share the project for the market value to go up? No, because if you don't, this is what you are going to have. A token that has a market value of $8.62. You can keep submitting and it's going to stabilize at that market value because that's how it's designed. If you want the market value to go up, you have to share the project. This is decentralized. Okay. We didn't allocate monies to go out and do the work to build that community. We are leaving it up to the community. If you love the project, you will share it. If you don't, you won't. Those are the bottom lines. It's a peer-to-peer community-driven project, but it's so strong that it stabilizes at what the community says the market value of that token is. So the mechanics of the MoveQuest ecosystem is designed to support a stable, healthy market value for that token. When the buyer and the seller volumes are balanced, meaning that there's not more selling volume, with that healthy demand and growth in the community, our system actively injects liquidity to maintain and even increase the token's value. However, if the seller volume starts to vastly outweigh that buyer's interest, meaning there's more pressure from sellers than the demand can absorb, the system adjusts. Okay, to stabilize it rather than push up the market value artificially. Who wants a market value with, an artificial token price? That doesn't help anybody. Okay, it really has no place here because if I'm holding a lot of tokens and I've got that artificial market value that I'm banking on, I'm hurting the rest of the community who may be holding less tokens. So we don't have that here. We don't have that whale scenario, rug pull, if you've got more money, you get to the top first. It doesn't work like that. This approach prevents that excessive volatility. It keeps the token's value at a sustainable level rather than inflating the price. And that unstable price, that creates that unstable market. So our system is designed to level out during these times of low demand. The system protects the community and it ensures that MoveQuest maintains that solid foundation that's primed for growth as the demand naturally increases from the community driving this project. You're in total control. There is no centralization here. I do not have any control. You are fully in control. Every time you do something in this project, you get it in real time, instantly. Everything's escrowed in smart contracts. So what this whole project does is it fosters that long-term stability so that everybody that's involved in the ecosystem wins. Okay, you don't lose with this project. You see here on this chart, this was community growth. Okay, we started out with 117 wallets submitting on day one, and you can see the growth. Now, the evolution contract was kicking in. It's injecting liquidity. It had to buy MoveQuest in order to add it into the liquidity pool. You see that growth. You've seen these two, I'd never want to be the first market maker on a sell like this, but that was the same person that did it here. You've kind of seen those big dips, but you've seen it completely recover from itself. Then you see here, this is that selling pressure. And you're not going to see the evolution contract drive that up when that type of selling pressure is here. It would be suicidal. I mean, why would you do anything like that? So the self-sustaining ecosystem at the core of MoveQuest is key to ensuring the project's durability and the success over time. So while some may feel the fees are high, It's worth considering the value gained through your active participation, from the benefits of improved health and weight loss to contributing to a project with a meaningful long-term vision. So we're not a short-term venture, okay? It's built for that sustainable growth and that ongoing impact. So there will be phases of higher and lower mining value rewards, and there will be days when your contributions may be greater or less than what you've received. Remember, you are never obligated to submit. If the daily submission fee isn't feasible for you, don't submit. This means that more tokens are available for those who do submit. Your miners are yours. You have the flexibility to participate at your own pace. So the freedom and the power of the decentralized project, that's designed for you to win. And it's all in your control. So it's, you make the decision whether you submit or whether you don't. It's not required. When the community sees increases in token market value, it's because community growth is strong. So more users are joining and participating, which drives the demand naturally. Okay, boost that token's market value. Conversely, when the growth slows down, the market value begins to decrease. So during those slow periods, the shifts its focus to stabilizing that token. It's not going to push the market value up. So for those of you who are waiting for that, this isn't going to happen. And ultimately, the community, you determine the token's market value. So when you're actively sharing the project and contributing to its growth, the community fuels the demand, which in turn increases the token's value. When participation and sharing is low, the system shifts to maintaining stability, ensuring the project's long-term sustainability. I already gone over all of this, but I'll read it anyway. Many have asked when the evolution mechanism is going to kick in to increase the token price. It's important to understand the system isn't designed to boost prices just for selling. It's structured to support the project's overall stability, and it aligns with the community's actions. So the idea that anyone can sell anytime without impacting the token's value, that's just not realistic. The evolution mechanism activates based on community growth and demand. When the community is growing, the engagement is high, the evolution supports that healthy increase in market value. When the growth slows, the evolution shifts. It stabilizes the project rather than driving up the price for selling. This balance ensures that MoveQuest remains resilient and sustainable for everyone, preserving the value over the long term rather than artificially inflating it for the short term. So we're going to stick to the core principles. And I keep telling you guys this, and it's true on the Binance Smart Chain. It's a very small community of 500 people over there. So a small community leads to a stable token value with a balanced liquidity pool, and it's a small token value, while a larger active community drives that higher token value, but it also gets that same stability. A small community is a small token value. A large community is a larger market value in the token, and it becomes more stable as well from that ecosystem participation. So the community holds total control over the MoveQuest destiny, a fully decentralized ecosystem designed for everybody who wants to experience the true crypto project. It's built with the resilience of a blockchain. It operates on the blockchain, yet it's uniquely structured as something more than being a blockchain. So with that being said, Brandon, I'm going to hand this back over to you because I've been here longer than I planned on. I was only going to do a half hour. I got to check out of my hotel. I can take a couple of questions if people have it, but I think this is really important for people to understand because I think there's some misconceptions going on around in the community, that the evolution contract is supposed to kick in and correct this, but that doesn't happen because there's many things that, have to happen within that ecosystem for it to sustain itself. If it kept driving up market value, you'd just see the liquidity pool diminish. And that would be, that wouldn't even be an intelligent thing to do.
Well, fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing all that information. That's actually helpful now. So every time I get asked a question, all I'm going to do is just show them this video. Do you plan on being back tonight, correct, at the 9:30 p.m. Eastern time?
Yep, I will be.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take two questions. If anybody has questions, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll take two questions and then save the rest for tonight when you come back. So it's going to probably be a lot more people on this evening as well, so we can get you out of there. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and raise your hand. If any of the leaders, Mr. Crow, Ken, Michael, anybody has anything you'd like to add, let me know. All right, already two people there. We got Catherine and Mike that we'll go with. Catherine, go right ahead.
Hi. So
Hello.
I'd heard initially that we were going to be able to dock a total of 12 miners on the Avalanche eventually. And then you had mentioned on one of them that it would be more than 12. Do you know,
Yeah.
anticipate how many?
So we can honestly allow up to 1,000 miners to be docked. I don't think we'll ever get to that point. The most that would ever be docked would be 30. And we won't do that unless it is of value to the community. There's no reason for people to spend money just to dilute the token distribution on more miners. If it makes sense, let's say, for example, if you were able to mine more tokens with the addition of another miner, it would make sense. But if adding another miner isn't going to give you value, then there's no purpose in doing it. It would be a waste of your money, basically. So the only time that we would add another slot is when it would be beneficial to you as a person, allows you to mine more tokens. And so you probably wouldn't see an additional slot open until the MoveQuest distribution actually increases daily. To more than the 2,500. We don't want the community to spend money foolishly. We want it to be able to have a positive impact on what you're mining and what you're earning.
Okay, well, and the reason part of that question is because purchasing Lenny's now for the future, whether they get evolved and docked or you lease them out. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yes, 100%.
Thank
And if
you.
you're buying, if you have more, so really realistically, I would plan on, there would probably be a 9th slot. If there would be more than that, would be speculative. Like I couldn't give you a for sure on that because it really does depend on if it's beneficial to the person to mine it. If it's only benefiting 10% profit to me or the dev team or whatever, and it really has no significant impact on the liquidity pool or your mining rewards, and it's senseless to do it and it wouldn't happen. It'll only happen if it's beneficial to the community. So if you're, buying up those Lenny miners, they will become handy in the future because you will be able to determine what you're going to sell them for when the marketplace is open, or you can lease them out, or you would have them to evolve them to higher powered miners to lease out in the future. Or if that 9th slot is added, you would already have them. So,
okay, thank you. And
yep,
bless
you're
you
welcome.
for everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Catherine. Last one up, Mike. Go right ahead.
Hey, thanks. Uh, Great call today. I don't have unlimited funds. And so I've taken my 8 slots all the way to alpha. And then I know I have to spend more money to take a 200% and a 200% alpha to make a 400% to get an omega, but I don't gain mining power by doing that, at least in my understanding of it. So I've opened up a second. You do?
Well, yeah, you would have double. I mean, you could open up, here you got a figure too. If you open up an additional account and have a second device, now what you've done is you've had to pay extra for the mining dock slots to unlock them. If you have 8 alphas that are mining, you've got 16% or 1,600% mining power. But if you upgrade them to the 8 omegas, you've got 3,200% mining power, right? Yeah.
Right.
3,200.
Yeah. So I was just thinking if I have, an extra $1,000 to spend, would I be better off in my second account, buying more alphas so that I can maximize and I don't have to spend the $200 to make an omega when I'm not gaining any extra mining power on that account? Is that a good strategy or a questionable strategy?
Say that's up to you because if you have a second account, you have to have a second device. It wouldn't work with the same device.
Yeah, and I
So
have all
to
that.
me,
I've got
I
a
don't.
second phone and a
Yeah.
second.
So for you, yeah, I mean, you could do that. Absolutely. Like for me, I don't want to wear 2 watches and I don't want to manage 2 phones.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
know.
all up
It's
to the
definitely
individual, you do the math and set it up. Now you have to remember that the alphas will not increase their mining power. When the new app comes out a couple weeks down the road, your omegas will begin to increase and they can reach 1,000% mining power. Your Lennies, your primary ultras, and your alphas cannot increase their mining power. So that's another thing to look at too. It wouldn't matter how many devices you had or how many wallet accounts you had mining. You would never be able to get those alphas to that 1,000% mining power. So you do have to keep that in mind.
does it does it does the omega mining power raise based on your activity or based on something else in the algorithm?
There's lots of things that it's based on. Yes, it's based on increased physical activity, but it's also based on maintaining the same physical activity. It's also based on, submitting regularly. There's so many factors involved in it, with your mining power. So
get my omegas
and
because I
then
max out every day. I make sure I do, but so I'll benefit more from those omegas within the next couple of weeks than by making those omegas. I'll benefit more. And you're basically
in
saying
the
I've got a
long
2 week
term,
window.
well,
Yeah.
no, I'm
Okay.
just saying that once we have the rebranded app come out, and it should be here anytime now. The developers will need that couple of weeks to add in that piece and test it very well. And then those omegas will begin to start increasing their mining power. To me, in the long run, that's the benefit of having those omegas, is that increased mining power. And you're not
Okay.
paying for that. You're actually working into that, mining power.
Michigan or Michigan State?
I can't say right now. Go blue.
All right. Thank you.
All right, all right. Thank you, Mike. Well, that is it for the questions for now. Is any other leaders have anything they'd like to share or ask Lynette? I know we went into Herschel Crow's training time. So Herschel, are you still going to open up the Join the Momentum now that we're 30 minutes late or not? Let me know.
We'll be back with everyone tomorrow to pick up any technical support questions or what have you then, but we definitely want to make sure everybody's on this evening's call and invite so that not only we get exposed to new people, but at the same time get more information and education as Lynette is sharing more and more about how this ecosystem actually works. I think it all makes sense, and I look forward to the longevity and the long-term aspects of what this platform actually brings.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I hope everybody understood what I was saying today. Hopefully this actually calms everybody down, where you understand exactly what's happening here. And it's a positive thing. It's not a negative thing by any means at all.
Michael and Ken?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what Herschel said and what everyone, guys, there was about 300 people on the call today, and there's 5,000 people in the community. Let's start getting this out to as many people as we can. Let's do our job today and try to get everybody on tonight's call. Okay, we need to get this out to people so they fully understand the ecosystem and how the workings of MoveQuest is, so we don't have those negative Nancy's out there and everything. So people fully get educated, guys. It's our job to focus and learn everything about this project, because this is our project that we're going to be taking to the world. So invite. Just take your time, get it out to everybody today. Make sure they get on tonight's Zoom. That's all I have to say, man.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Ken?
Yeah, I'm clear, Brandon. I don't have to add anything. Great call. Appreciate it, Lynette. And all the stuff that she said is in the PDF as well. We have the PDF. You want to go back. I know a lot of people didn't retain probably 10% of what she spoke about, but you can go back and read it and get it again and again and again. So yeah, I'm just excited. Just like the July 21st, when we first launched and went into this concept, and it never was a 90-day end. It was a 90-day beginning to something that was, Lynette says it all the time, this thing's going to run to 2060. We're not going to even be here, some of us, but she's built it that way. So you just have to open the mind to what's possible here, and know that history has a tendency to repeat itself. We look at Bitcoin, but we've doing something really special here, and I'm excited, man. So see you all tonight. See you on the chats. There's a lot going on right now. Pay attention, read, share the content that's being put out there by some of the leaders and in the groups, and the support that's in the group. It's all to help, and it's all to foster growth and to get this collective going in the right direction. And we've been going in the right direction. It's just like Lynette said, she doesn't know the timeline, because we got to act right, period. Right? We got to do our thing. So appreciate it, Brandon. Thanks for everything you do.
No problem. Now, we'll be back tonight. I am doing an unscheduled presentation tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern for 30 minutes. Following that, Lynette will be back to share this evening as well. Also, pay close attention, because we're going to be cracking down as hard as we can to do our part when it comes to the scammers and the hackers out there and the fake MoveQuest admins and Telegram groups. So we're going to be having something locked down that you're really going to have to go through security to get into our channel. So just keep an eye out on that very, very soon. All right, that is it, everybody. I will get this recording out as fast as possible that you can share with those members who ask the most questions but never want to show up to get the information. Instead of you trying to explain what Lynette just said, just drop them the video. See you guys tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye, everybody.